In the very center of the city, where the cobblestones were worn smooth by countless feet, stood the great whispering oak. It was not just a tree, it was the city's heart, its oldest resident, a silent giant that had watched generations come and go like the turning of its own leaves. Its bark was a gnarled map of time, each crevice and knot holding a secret. Its branches reached out like welcoming arms, stretching over the market square, offering shade from the sharp African sun. People gathered there not just for the cool air, but for something more. Something they felt deep in their bones but could never quite name. It was a place of quiet magic in the middle of all the noise. Children played hide-and-seek among its massive roots, which pushed up through the paving stones like ancient sleeping serpents. Their laughter was a familiar sound to the oak. Lovers carved their initials into its trunk, a hopeful promise etched into living wood. Old men and women sat on the benches beneath its canopy, their faces turned up to the leaves, remembering days long past. The tree was a constant, a landmark more reliable than any building of brick or steel. It had been there before the first road was laid, and everyone believed it would be there long after the last car had rusted away. It was a silent witness to everything. At night, the tree changed. It was then that the real magic began to stir. A soft, gentle light, like captured starlight, would begin to glow from within its leaves. The light was not harsh or bright, but a warm, inviting luminescence that bathed the square in a pearly sheen. It pulsed with a slow, steady rhythm, like a sleeping heart. This was the sign. It meant the oak was ready to listen. It was ready to share. People from all corners of the city would see the glow and know it was time. They would leave their warm homes and walk through the quiet streets, drawn to the light and the promise of a story. The square, once bustling with the day's trade, would become a place of hushed reverence. The air would grow still, and the only sounds were the soft rustle of leaves and the quiet footsteps of those arriving. They came from all walks of life. The worried baker with flour on his hands, the lonely librarian who smelled of old paper, the young musician with a dream in her heart, and the tired politician seeking a moment of clarity. They were all different, yet under the glowing canopy of the great whispering oak, they were all the same. They were all seekers, looking for a little bit of wisdom in a confusing world. When a person needed guidance, they would step forward, right up to the great trunk. They would place a hand upon the rough, cool bark. It felt solid and real, ancient and alive. They didn't need to speak their troubles aloud. The tree already knew. It could feel the frantic beat of a worried heart, the heavy weight of a secret, or the fluttering wings of a new hope. The connection was instant, a silent conversation between human and wood. The oak was a patient listener, absorbing every unspoken fear and every silent question without judgment, its vast, slow consciousness embracing the small, fast life pressed against it. A soft breeze would then stir the glowing leaves above, a sound like a gentle sigh. This was the oak's voice. It did not speak in words that you could hear with your ears. Instead, it spoke in feelings, in memories that were not your own, and in stories that bloomed inside your mind like sudden, unexpected flowers. A young artist, struggling with a blank canvas, might suddenly see a vision of 1,000 sunsets, each one different, each one perfect. She would feel the patience of the tree, the knowledge that creation takes time, and that beauty exists in just showing up day after day. A grieving widow, her heart a hollow ache, might feel the memory of a sapling pushing through hard earth after a fire. She would experience the slow, determined growth, the feeling of reaching for the sun again, not forgetting the scar of the fire but growing around it, stronger than before. The tree didn't offer simple answers or easy platitudes. It offered perspective. It shared the deep, slow wisdom of something that had weathered countless storms and droughts, something that understood the cycles of loss and renewal better than any person ever could. It was a comfort that went deeper than words. The magic of the oak was that its wisdom was for everyone. It didn't matter if you were rich or poor, old or young, a respected elder or a troubled youth. The tree offered its guidance freely, a boundless well of empathy. A child who was being bullied at school might feel the strength of the tree's deep roots, anchoring him firmly to the ground, unshakable. A businessman who had lost his way might be shown a vision of a forest, where every tree, big and small, played a vital part in the whole. The whispers on the breeze were a universal language, speaking directly to the heart of what it means to be alive. The stories the oak shared were not just for the individual. They rippled outwards, weaving the community closer together. After their silent communion with the tree, people would often linger on the benches under the glowing leaves. They would start to talk. The baker, who had been worried about his failing business, might find himself sitting next to the young musician. He would share the story the tree had given him, a tale of a single, stubborn seed that fed a whole village. The musician, in turn, would share her vision of a melody that connected every heart in a crowd. These shared moments were transformative. Strangers became neighbors, and neighbors became friends. The stories from the tree acted as a bridge between them. The librarian, who had felt so alone, found herself explaining the tree's tale of a lone firefly finding its way to a swarm, her voice soft but sure. An old man listened, nodding, and then shared his own story from the oak, one about a river that always found its way back to the sea no matter how many times it was diverted. They were different stories, but they spoke of the same things: connection, perseverance, and belonging. The square became a place of shared vulnerability and strength. The politician, humbled by a vision of his own fleeting importance in the face of the tree's long life, began to listen more to the people he was meant to serve. He heard their stories, not just the ones from the tree, but the ones from their lives. The community started to solve its own problems, inspired by the oak's wisdom. They started a community garden, remembering the tree's story of the single seed. They organized a local music festival, sparked by the musician's dream. The tree wasn't just giving advice, it was planting ideas. The tales became part of the city's own folklore. Children grew up hearing about the time the oak helped a firefighter find the courage to run into a burning building, or how it showed a lost tourist the way home through a story about a migratory bird. These tales were told and retold at dinner tables and in schoolyards, becoming a living part of their heritage. The Great Whispering Oak was more than a magical tree. It was the loom upon which the tapestry of their community was woven, each person a colorful thread, each story a part of the beautiful, intricate pattern. As the years continue to pass, the Great Whispering Oak remains. New buildings rise around it, sleek and modern, but the ancient tree stands its ground, a testament to the enduring power of nature and narrative. The glow in its leaves has not dimmed. If anything, it seems to burn a little brighter with each story it gathers and shares. The city changes, fashion and technology move on, but the fundamental human needs for connection, guidance, and hope remain the same. The tree is a constant reminder that some things are timeless, rooted deep in the soil of our shared existence. The seekers who come to the tree are different now. They carry new worries, dreams shaped by a faster, more complicated world. A young coder struggles with a line of buggy script. A drone pilot worries about the future. A vlogger searches for an authentic story to tell her followers. Yet the oak's wisdom adapts. To the coder, it might show the intricate, perfect code of a spider's web. To the pilot, it might share the perspective of an eagle soaring high above. The stories are ancient, but their meanings are always new, always relevant to the heart that is listening. The children who once played at its base are now the old men and women sitting on the benches, telling the new generation of children about the magic in the leaves. They are the guardians of the tradition, ensuring the stories are not forgotten. They teach the young ones how to listen, how to place their hands on the bark and quiet their minds. They explain that the tree is not a machine that gives answers, but a friend that helps you find your own. The cycle of wisdom continues, passed down from one hand to the next, a legacy of light. And so the Great Whispering Oak will continue to stand, its roots digging deeper into the earth, its branches reaching higher into the sky. It will gather the stories of tomorrow, the whispers of joys and sorrows yet to come. It will hold them safe within its heartwood, waiting for the next person who needs to hear them. For as long as people seek connection, as long as they have stories to share and wisdom to find, the tree will be there. Its leaves will glow, the breeze will whisper, and the heart of the city will continue to beat with a slow, steady, and magical rhythm.